So in the last problem, we were trying to figure out, can we just go ahead and subtract and what happens to the inequality symbol? And then we solved for y. And we did that by subtracting 100x, crossing that out, bringing down negative y, and bringing down the symbol, writing negative 100x minus 50, and then dividing by that negative on negative 1. So that gives me, a sign that has to what? Change directions. When? Why? When you divide or multiply by a negative number. So that happens only when you're dividing and multiplying by a negative number. I'm not going to go back and talk about, can you just move this over? Let's save that for inequalities, okay? And I know some of you haven't addressed inequalities to its fullest in your classrooms, so we'll leave that for next semester. But as of right now, what are you being held responsible for? Being able to solve for y and know when to change that symbol when you divide by a negative number or multiply. We haven't really talked much about multiplying by a negative, but we have really touched on this. So that'll be two things we bring back, maybe as a bell ringer or discussion at the beginning of a couple of classes next semester. So then this negative 100x, you divide that by negative 1. You divided this by negative 1. That made negative 100 become what? Positive 100. Negative 50 become what? Positive 50. And now what do we know? That negative is gone. That sign was flipped because of him. And so what does that tell us? That this is the slope-intercept form of that standard inequality. Standard form inequality. And guess what? This one matches him. So A is what it could look like in standard form. But guess what else happens? So is B as in boy. So Ms. Pierce gave you two representations of this. You could take negative 100x plus y greater than or equal to 50. Add 100x. Boom, boom, cancels. Y is greater than or equal to 100x plus 50. And that also, what? Matches it. So somebody may already see the answer, but leave that for next semester. Moving on. Pick the correct verbal description. Okay, now this, please, I'm going to really ask you to pay attention so that you are not lost, okay? If the answer is 100x minus y less than or equal to negative 50. 100 per x, there it is. That means I need a letter on 100. Minus, what does this say? Minus 1y. Okay, so then what does this say? Minus 1% of 100. So this description should match that number. Does it? Well, that just means 1% times 100. Well, let's do that. 1%. Do you know how to change 1% into a decimal? Well, 1% to the left, to the left. That's what Beyonce said. Put all those things in the box to the left. Yep, sure did. So when I change that to a decimal, it is 0.01. Now that number times 100. And what does it give me? 1. Good. So, let's fix that. Sorry about that.